Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the channel, the Shogun, and this is going to be the June edition of my account overview, where I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what I've been doing, highlight some of the pieces of gear maybe that I've pulled out, and just kind of give you a general overview of what it is that I'm doing and where I'm going, who I'm working on, things like that. So we did just have the free unequip event, and I spent a good amount of time just re-gearing my core characters, right? So I have a handful of characters that are core. I went through a bunch of characters that I want to work on. I tried to distribute my gear as much as possible so that I could just leave it on them instead of like trying to move things around from unit to unit to unit. I'm working on trying to just get dedicated gear sets for my Wyvern and Banshee teams. The problem that I have is that a lot of my gear for Wyvern, I need to move to C-Merc and Biken to do Banshee. Now, it's not too bad because I don't swap back and forth too often on them. Usually I'm like, hey, I'm gonna farm Banshee for like 2 or 3 weeks and then go to the next thing. So it's not really the biggest deal, but I would like to eventually just have it so that I just set it and forget it gear. Just like, this is your set, works fine enough, this is what it'll be forever, and just not have to worry about that. Now, the one nice thing about Biken for Banshee is that you can also use her for Guild Wars with Oxlots for like one-shotting things, right? Or well, 2 things actually. But let's hop into my characters here. I did spend quite a bit of time over the weekend doing Banshee. We're at where are we at? Enhancement materials. So the problem that I have with Banshee gear, right, is that I really don't have pieces that I want to upgrade. That's why I'm sitting on so many pieces, so many materials to reforge, right? So a lot of my stuff, it's good, but it's not amazing, right? And that's probably, it's like one of the problems that I've been running into with like my Banshee gear, my lifesteal gear, my counter gear, my Destro gear. I have a lot of pieces from Wyvern that I upgraded, but the pieces that I get, I'm picky, but I probably shouldn't be because of the amount of materials that I have here. Yeah, that's where I'm at with those. I do need to do tower today as well. So we'll get into taking a look at characters. So she's in kind of scuffed gear. I don't really know what to do with her. I was going to try to run her in Golem. She's not going to get any molas anytime soon, but I do like this guy, right? So I geared him out. He hits real hard when he crits. Now, he's not very fast. I do rely mostly on the elemental advantage, crit chance, as well as the Hellcutter stacks. But let me tell you what, when he crits, boy, does he hit real hard. Now, I might bring him, or I might try to just adjust some of his gear. I do have him, as you can see, in 85 gear. And so upgrading that will probably upgrade my critical hit chance by quite a bit. But I do typically bring him in to drop like Alencia's, Rowanna's, Charles. That's kind of his job to do that. That's what I'm working on with him. This is actually my next project right here, and this is my Fire Ravi. And the reason why is I've always really liked Fire Ravi as a character. When they upgraded her skills, she became a really big powerhouse. The problem is that we had a lot of water in the arena, in the RTA meta, but now you're seeing a lot more Charles, a lot more Alencias, less water overall, and I think that she's going to be real strong. I've also gotten destroyed by people that were a little bit further ahead of the game than me and have theirs built. So one of the reasons why I'm spending so much time in Banshee right now is because I would like to get a counter set that I can mimic the stats that I have here somewhat similar, while also getting the counter attack set, right? So I am going to be working on all of her pieces here, and so one of the funny things is Ravi was one of the earlier units that I had started working on, right? And so when I didn't know better, when I didn't know about the Mola drought, I would just try to evenly spread out my stats or my skills on certain units. So I would go 1-1-1, 2-2-2, because that's how I did it when I played FGO, right? I would just go through and each one would get an upgrade. So that's why she's 3-3-3 right now. Feels bad, man. Learning process was, yeah, it was pretty bad, but she'll be probably the next person at plus 15, because I do think that she's a very big powerhouse and she's adorable, and I want to just run a Ravi and Fire Ravi on the same team. It's going to be a lot of fun. I do obviously have, if I do continue to keep her speed, I do have a couple of pieces here that I can reforge and upgrade to 90 in order to get better stats here. I would like to get more critical hit damage, as well as a bit more heft, right? So that is one of the things. And the reason why I think that she's really good is you get this right here. You get the combat readiness. She's got the built-in Durandal, right? I have seen a lot of people running her with Durandal. I personally like Sigurd's Scythe because it does give her that extra survivability, because I know that she has lifesteal on her S1, right? But I think that being able to just heal even more while also being an FD is really, really strong. Really, really strong. Soul got a little bit de-geared for Baiken. I was using him for Golem. The Danger Doggo needs to get gear back on, as well as an artifact. I think he was using Herberus Tooth. Or no, I think he was using Durandal, right? But I'm going to put a Rhiannon's Memorandum. Do I have that Memorandum ready? Where are you at, Memorandum? No, I don't. I think I have it on somebody else. But he's going to end up getting this meme book, right? Because I want him to go faster, because I've noticed that after people realize he's hefty, they don't hit him as hard. He does have some scuffed gear right now, but I moved some gear around because I needed to put it on to other people, like this Ross. He's very, very fast, high effectiveness. Now, you might be like, man, isn't 163 effectiveness kind of overkill? I don't know if you've seen the effect resist on my DJ Basar or most support characters. This will offset the vast majority of support characters' effect resist. And once you get to higher levels of gameplay, a lot of your support characters that you're going to be going up against, Ruels, stuff like that, are going to have very high effect resist. So I want to be able to bypass that, get the defense break, get the double up with a Little Queen Charlotte, a Ravi, Alencia, whoever, and just do some serious business damage. I also want to make sure that I'm stripping buffs off with his S1. So that's why I have him here. 227 is pretty quick, but I use him as an enabler. So I put tanks in, like, certain characters into like this support enabler role. So like Falconeer Corey is a support enabler, Ross is a support enabler. I do have Hilaglance on him because single target damage is a lot more prevalent, and this will push him to the front more. You're going to be getting more double ups. You're going to be getting more strips, more defense buffs. Overall, that's kind of how I run him. Obviously, I've got 3 pieces on him that I can upgrade. I am still using this level 67 chest because the stats are actually pretty okay on it. It'll get upgraded eventually. Chaos Inquisitor just has like some scuffed gear. I do want to use him though. He's holding a cookie for now, right? I'm trying to figure out how I want to use him. He might be an Elbrus holder, but we'll figure it out one of these days. Lilius, oh wow, I don't have a ring on Lilius. Why do I not have a ring on Lilius? Why, chat, why did you let me take a ring off of her in the first place? All right, max enhance. Did I put that on her? Why? Effectiveness. No, I need better speed. Okay, that'll put her at 200. It'll give you more effect resist too. And more defense. So I'm going to be... okay. All right, there we go. until I gotta upgrade. So I gotta upgrade her boots, but I don't know if I want to upgrade, if I want to reforge these boots. One of the things that I'm running into a lot is being extra picky now with like what gear I upgrade. Like I'll probably upgrade this because I will get a bunch of decent amount of extra speed as well as defense out of this. I think I need to kind of replace this, but at the same time, this is really, really good, right? It's a conundrum. Might upgrade this as well just to get that extra speed, but that means I need to go back to Wyvern, and right now we're doing Banshee. So Kayron has some gear. I just put gear on him. Kayron is not going to be coming out for a while. I'm going to max out his S1 and then work on his S3 a bit until I get him into a good spot. Then we're going to see some Dust Devil Kayron come out to play. As I get more Destro gear, I will probably upgrade that. Like I'm probably not going to use this on him. This is just kind of sitting here. This actually is probably going to go to ML Ken once I can get some ML Ken gear sorted out. Elfelt is just on some scuffed gear again. I mean, it's not bad gear. It's just she's holding some gear sets. She's probably not going to see much play until I can get her S2 Molgord, and that's going to be a little while. So it feels bad. I really do want to use her, right? I know YD uses her. I've seen him use her to some very good success, especially in Guild Wars. And I really do want to use her. I just have other things right now that are in the priority that I just have to go with. Firelitica I built up. She's on, I think, like my 3rd or 4th level speed set. 271 is really good, right? And I'm going to use her mostly to just counter Basars. Most of them are going to be using, if they are using immunity, they're probably not the fastest and they probably don't have a ton of effect resist. This means that with 61 effectiveness should be real easy to just whip him back to the back. Not a ton of damage. The critical hit chance is high enough to crit on grass units, so that's pretty nice. And outside of that, her offensive stats aren't amazing. I do have her on the Rosa, just for double attack. She is running Thornbush as well. This one reduces combat readiness. I actually don't. Do I have the one for? So I don't actually have the one that cuts other buffs. I need to roll for that, but I feel like I don't ever get enough points to roll for multiple exclusive equipments, right? Acades is a project that's going to happen in the future sometime. Right now she's just holding gear. Who else did I work on? So this is Cerise right now. I moved all of my fastest gear to her. She's 296, which if you watched the most recent Shogunate versus, you will see that I got outsped by a Judith. I got outsped by a Judith at 296. This is one of those characters that I go in and I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to get outsped. There's no possible way. Even with speed imprints, it's going to be hard. And then you get outsped by a Judith. Just a note, if a top 50 guild has the testicular fortitude to field a Judith in their stronghold, just assume that it's 9 billion speed. It's literally fast, like Sonic fast. You will never outspeed it. Just the absolute testicular fortitude. So this is my Seaside Belle, and you might be like, wow, what is up with your stats here? I do need to make her a bit more tanky, right? I've actually considered not running Drink, or maybe just running Drink, but dropping my damage even more, right? Because I want to use her in RTA, but I want her to be more annoying than anything. Like, I want the defense breaks, I want the AoE damage. The Drink will still add more to it, and that might offset some of the lack of damage that she's doing. I've also considered running her with Bloodstone for the extra annoyance. As you can see, I do have a couple of pieces here as well that I need to upgrade. Chest piece, boots. The boots are nice. They're just an overall pair of boots, right? You got the effectiveness because you just kind of need it. She has been relegated mostly to Wyvern hunts. And so I want to get a character that I can put in, take her out, and then just gear her specifically for RTA. Yeah, that's pretty much how I want to run that. Now, I have considered just dropping the imprint on her just to get that extra effectiveness, but I feel like the health, especially for your front slot, is way more important, just because you're going to be getting that person hit a lot by your damage share. So this is Dizzy, and you might be like, wow, wait, why do you have Violin on Dizzy? Why don't you have Abyssal Crown? Everybody runs Abyssal Crown on Dizzy. I actually like Violin because you're always hitting everybody, right? You don't have to worry about the clapbacks from Champ Zerato to strip, stuff like that. You're hitting everybody, you're stripping constantly, and it also helps if you can't bring Champ Zerato or a stripper, so you can just S1 or S2 to get rid of their debuff immunity, and then follow up with S3. Additionally, it's nice because you have you do have the counter set on here. So stat-wise, she's not the thickest thing in the world, right? But she's thick enough. She's got a good amount of defensive stats here. The effectiveness is pretty good. 107 is going to offset most support and almost any DPSer. There's not too many DPS or tanks really that run super high effect resist, except for like FCCs and stuff like that, and sometimes Lilius. I do have her at 137 or 136 effect resist as well. This enables her to not be stunned, defense broken, and then a train ran on her. Most of the time too, unless your Basar is like stacking up some effectiveness, which sometimes I run into ones that don't, and she just laughs at them and then counterattacks. Sometimes, not always. Again, this is a unit that I have a handful of pieces that I can upgrade, but I'm in the boat of like, do I upgrade this piece? How much do I get out of it? Do I upgrade these boots? Actually, I probably will, because I just realized that these are 29 effect resist, so that'll probably bump them up to like minimum of like 35, and that'll be phenomenal. This chest piece, though, let me tell you what, 40 defense on a hit set. This, you just put it on somebody and you're just like, oh, I have all of the defense that I've ever needed in the entire world. This hat is pretty good. I would like to get similar speed, but on a different set of substats, right? Because I really don't need the 17 attack. I upgraded this because it was one of my fastest counterattack hats, and I wanted to make her reasonably quick, but also in counterattack. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at with this. This ring will probably get an upgrade as well, just because, I mean, it's going to give me a ton of effectiveness. It'll give me even more effect resist. The health stat and the defense will probably get like, what, +1. So that'll be all right. So those are some pieces that I'm going to upgrade on her. I won't upgrade this. I actually think I have I think I've crafted a better axe for her, so we'll see. Luluka is just on raid gear. I have Roman geared up. I just need to I had an Abyssal Crown on him, but I pulled the Abyssal Crown off to put onto somebody else. I do really, really like Roman. I just need to get some extra artifacts for him. We'll see what it is. Maybe I'll make another Ranon's Memorandum just to make him go faster. I do have him at 237. He's not going to be really outspeeding anybody, but I want him mostly for control, right? I've got the cooldowns on his S3. I've got the combat readiness pushback on his S2. And so when he gets in with a good team, like an Ice Dom, Dizzy, Cerise even, then you might be like, well, you can't use S2 with Cerise. You can, because you just got to hold on to it, right? So you just S3 to strip, put poisons on. They can't move forward. They're slowed. As soon as the restrict wears off, or if they cleanse, then you can start slamming out the S2s. Or like with Dizzy, you just debuff for a bazillion years, right? So that's pretty good. DN, I did a little bit of work on her. I want to get her speed a bit higher, and her effect resist a little bit higher. As you can see, I do have, like I said, I'm literally using a 71 necklace. I'm pretty sure I can upgrade that at some point. She's got a bunch of scuffed gear on, which sucks because like she's one of my more used units, and so I need to show her some love. This piece will probably get upgraded. I'm sad that I can't upgrade these rings and stuff like that, right? Boots will these boots actually probably won't get upgraded. These are just some scuffed boots. So there you go. If I run my DN against you, just realize she's kind of scuffed. I'd like to get her HP up more, speed and effectiveness. I want to get her effect resist up to about like 175 range. This offsets a lot of people that will be running characters with a little bit of effectiveness on them. So Alencia, you guys have all seen my Alencia. If you've watched my Alencia video, there's not much to improve on her. Unless I get some pieces of gear that just roll better substats, there's not much more I can do to make this girl just even more disgustingly OP. Whenever her banner comes back around, I will be triple S-ing her. If she gets another banner, I will pull on that banner until I can triple S this girl, because that'll be another 12% HP. That just means more damage. That just means more heft. Most of the time, whenever people go up against me and they know it's me, this will be a pre-ban. They'll either pre-ban or pick Alencia. That's usually how that goes, because while she doesn't have much in the way of effectiveness, she makes up for it in damage, and you don't need to strip buffs if they're dead. That's pretty much how that works out. Green Purges is kind of on the bench right now. I do want to use him. I'm going to use him at some point, but right now he's bench riding until I can get the gear that I need to really make him work, because the problem with Green Purges is you need to have damage, you need to have heft, you need to have effectiveness. You don't really need to have speed, but I also feel like if you don't have speed, you're just going to get lapped and shut down. And if you don't have effect resist or debuff immunity, then you're just going to get CC'd and then you're going to get destroyed. Yuffie had gear. I tried to bruiser Yuffie. I am just bad at bruiser Yuffie. So she no longer has gear. Charles, again, no gear. I don't really like running Charles. Maybe at some point, if I get some spare gear, I'll put it on him. The problem is that there will be games where I'll have Elbrus Ritual Sword and counter set on him, and he just doesn't do anything. He just stands there with his counter set like, oh, hey, did you want me to counter this? Because I got other things to do, dude. So yeah. Falconeer Quarry has a decent set of gear. Effectiveness is 168 to overcome the hefty effect resist Ruels, stuff like that. Meme book, because she needs to go fast. She is another enabler, right? She's a support enabler. I used to have her at like in my Cerise gear, and she was like almost 290, right? To I think like 280 something with like the best setup for her. And it was good. It was real good. It caught a lot of people off guard. The problem is I needed to spread out my speed gear, and I feel like having Cerise extra speedy is a lot better for countering like Oxlot's teams, Cleave teams, stuff like that. Whereas Falconeer Quarry is better if I'm going up against, let's say, like a Tanky Bruiser or a tank team. She can enable my follow-up single target like Little Queen Charlotte, Apoc Ravi, Assassin Sid sometimes, to just delete something. As long as the bird lands, whatever we're going after is dead. That's pretty much how that goes. And I do really like to use her with Assassin Sid, because you just get that just instant burst of damage, right? And a lot of times too, people will just assume Assassin Sid's faster, but he is actually a little bit slower. The problem is that I could get speed RNG'd because they're not far enough apart, but realistically, if Assassin Sid goes first, that doesn't really make too much of a difference, because he'll probably push something back and silence them, or burn souls. There will be some sort of follow-up. This is my one-shot Banshee Baiken. It's a little bit of overkill. I don't need this much critical hit chance. I'm way over cap on critical hit damage. the attack is too high, but the reason why I run this is because I don't want to have to rely on bleed. The less things that I can take out from RNG, the better. So I like to make sure that if I land a defense break, it's going to die without the bleeds having to come into play. Sid is a project for the future. Violet's a project for the future. Rowanna's got gear now. I'm also running Touch of Rekos on her because I like Touch of Rekos. I've went up against people running that and it feels bad. I don't know why I started putting points into this when I first got her. I was going to plus 15 her. I then later changed my mind. I do need to finish out Vigilant Eye, but you can just literally slot her against people and just easy peasy. She's not the fastest at 164, so that kind of sucks. But it's she's good to just slot in. I do need to adjust some of her gear in the future and change some stuff up on her just to make sure that I get a bit more defense and more health on her. I would like to get more defense. As it is right now, she is pretty hefty. I am using 85 gear and the free pieces. So there's not a ton of optimization there. If I could get better tank stats on her, I would probably switch her to better-ish boots. These are pretty good boots, but yeah. Overall, fairly happy with her. I don't use her a ton, but when I do use her, she pretty much makes the fight easy peasy, right? Captain Rickerus, I need to put a speed weapon back on him, but I'm building him for speed and effectiveness. He's going to be a weird enabler, kind of like Ross and Falconeer Quarry, but he also comes with the skill cooldown reduction, right? So you stun the highest combat readiness person first turn around, then you come down and reset everything. By that time, everybody on your team has already taken a turn. So whatever their S3s are, you're going to, or whatever skills you used, you're going to be resetting that by a turn. So he's really, really solid. I actually really like him. He does have some not the most amazing gear right now. Like this ring is not very good, but it's what I got for him, right? I think when I put a speed main stat or speed substat weapon on him, he was speed. I think I took it off to put it on to, I forget who got it, but we are not really using, no, that's not the stats I want. Oh, I think I put it on Firelitica, that's why. Let's see, you don't need really attack. This is a good mix. We'll give you this. No, that's right, I need Specimen Says. See, this is why it's tough. Here, I'll just give you this. So it puts him up to 213. Now, not the fastest. Is he going to be outspeeding anything? Not particularly, but it's going to be fast enough for the stats that he's got. He's got a decent amount of heft. 78% effectiveness is mostly going to stun your the other team's DPSers if they're up next, right? Most of them don't run a ton of effect resist, so you're going to come through, you're going to strip all buffs, and then just dispel a buff, a singular buff, which gets rid of immunity sets, and you're going to stun the enemy with the highest combat readiness. So if you can lock down their DPS with the stuns, not only that, but you're going to be getting speed. You're going to have a 75% chance to defense break on his S1. He's going to be really, really solid. This gives everybody speed as well. So yeah, you're going to S3, S2, S1, and then by that time you should be able to come through an S3 again. Actually, you can S3, S2, S3, S1, and then it's just such a quick cooldown. And then if you hit with the Mima random and you're going even super zoomier, it cycles pretty quick. LQC hasn't seen much change since the last time. I would like to swap her into lifesteal gear, but again, I got to get lifesteal gear for her. ML Tywin is in the same spot. He's going to be getting a big gear upgrade as soon as his buff goes through. Let's see, who did I put here? Yeah, so I changed up my fighter Maya a little bit, gave her a little bit more speed, more critical hit damage, and I dropped her defense just a little bit. I may swap some of my pieces of gear to more substats. I need to upgrade this because this is going to give me a huge boost to my defense substat here. It'll also give me a little bit more leeway with the critical hit chance, right? So I could take critical hit chance off of my main hand, like in other places. So for the most part, I stacked like a lot of defense substats on her, so I don't have to have a two-piece defense. One of the big things with her is that everybody stacks like 2,500 defense or more, or just as much as possible. She actually scales a bit better if you drop some of that defense in favor of critical hit damage because of the way that the modifiers work with that. I also want to give her some more speed substats because I feel like if she's too slow, you're not cycling and she's just kind of standing there, and unless you got like an Elbrus and a lifesteal set, she's just gonna get whittled down eventually, right? Mursa is back on lifesteal. I got a couple of pieces that I do need to put on her that I've rolled recently. This piece of gear was just disgusting. It definitely helps out with the critical hit damage, the heft. I like running her with a decent amount of defense and health because even if she's getting hit with, even if she's dodging, right, you're still getting hit. I also want in the case of her actually getting hit to not just immediately get dead. Spez was built specifically for Arbiter Vildrids. I only bring him in for Arbiter Vildrids, and usually it's for Guild Wars. It feels bad. I do have him at like plus 11. And he's triple S, and I want to use him more often. I just run him with Oath Key, just because for the most part, unless it's like a really heavy-duty tank Arbiter Vildred, this gets the job done, right? So usually my Guild Wars team, if I run him, it's going to be like Oxlots, Baiken, and then Says. Because his 179 speed, the CR push from Baiken is usually enough to get him up in place before an Arbiter Vildred. He kills the Arbiter Vildred, and then we just deal with whatever's left, if there's anything left. Faithless Lytica is not geared, because if I go up against a Cleave team, they will almost always pick Faithless Lytica. So that's why I do not have her geared. DJ Basar is up to 248% effect resist, but I'm sure you already seen that in the effect resist video that I did. Maid is dropped a little bit in effect resist. I do need to adjust some of her gear back around. I moved some stuff, and I need to put her back into better gear and upgrade some of these pieces as well. I do know that I have a 5-piece speed and 1-piece effect resist. I need to get a better piece of effect resist. I could upgrade her speed with one of my effect resist pieces, but it would just drop all of my other stats down. Apoc Ravi's in the same spot. I do need to finish out her S1. That is on my list of things to do. However, her S1 will take me more than a week to complete. I have to save up Mologoras for an entire week plus in order to finish that out. It's sad times. Fat Cat's just got some semi-speedy, semi-tanky, high effectiveness gear on just to land those defense break stuns. I think that's about it. My Assassin Sid is pretty, so my Assassin Sid's 254. So he's actually, no, that's right, 11 RNG'd him away from Falconeer Quarry, because I usually run him with Falconeer Quarry. So Falconeer Quarry opens, Assassin Sid just kills it, right? And then goes into evasion. I've got the Violet's Talisman on him to provide more, and then go from there. So, oh yeah, Blood Moon Haste is something I worked on. I'd like to get more speed on him just so he takes more natural turns, but I mean, with his amount of health, and Idol's Cheer, when he gets around, he just gonna S3 you for a pile. It's good times. Outside of that, I mean, there's not a bunch of other characters that I re-geared. My projects that I'm working on, like in order, are gonna be Fire Ravi, Kayron, and then probably finish up Fallen Cecilia. That's kind of the way I'm planning on going. And it might be Fire Ravi, Fire Ken. Fire Ken's been doing some hella work. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of like Molagoras, right? I want to finish off Apoc Ravi, then Fire Ravi, then either Kayron or Ken. I like Kayron. The problem that Kayron suffers from is CC, stuns, debuffs, buff strip when he's immortality. Fire Ken, I think that, yeah, you can CC him. He's just going to punch you in the face. That's pretty much what his job is. So, and I like playing bruisers a lot more than high damage DPSers. So we'll see. But Apoc Ravi, Fire Ravi are the two biggest projects here. Show you just a couple pieces of gear, and then I'll get out of here because I've been talking for quite a while. Let's go by level. So some things that I have crafted. Okay, so I got this piece. This piece is disgusting. 47% defense. Like, how much defense do you need? I don't have this currently on anybody for lifesteal, but I do think that this will be part of my lifesteal kit that I put on my Little Queen Charlotte, just because it's like, this is all the defense that I need. Literally all of it. This was the piece that was on, this is on Champ Zerato. This is really good defense, crit chance, flat health, which actually is okay-ish for Champ Zerato. Not much in the crit damage, but that's all right. This piece I upgraded because it is pretty good. That's on Champ as well. I think a lot of these I probably had in like the last time around, or like this is my Alencia helmet that I built when I finished her out. 35% crit damage and 19% attack is just super dummy good. Let's see. This neck I had upgraded a while ago. I upgraded this because speed and attack and crit damage on an effect resist. So this actually might get swapped over to like an Apoc Ravi or Fire Ravi to make a effect resist set, a 2-piece for the increased effect resist, because I do need to get some effect resist on them. That is a big thing that I need to do. This 18 speed, I made that a long time ago. That's right. Trying to think of what these I upgraded recently. I think this one, that's not new. This one, yeah, this one's kind of new. So this one's on Falconeer Quarry. And this is like the perfect ring for her. Effect set, effect main stat, 18 speed with effectiveness on it. Didn't even care that like I think one rolled into defense. It's amazing for her. It's also amazing for pretty much any speed opener that requires effectiveness, right? Your Faithless Lidicas, your Cereses, it's pretty good for just about all of them. I also upgraded this because this was one of my fastest chess pieces. Now it's 21 speed. That's ridiculous here. Not only that, but it comes with health and effectiveness. So I think this is on Cerise. So those help out a little bit. But outside of that, I don't think there's too. This one is good, but I think I've had this one for a little while. Yeah. So I've got some pieces that I've upgraded. I got a lot more pieces I need to upgrade. Tonight I'm going to craft all of the Banshee materials that I've went through. That's upgrade crafting materials. I have 40,500 hellish essences. I don't have enough gold to craft all that, but I'm going to be crafting a bunch of Banshee stuff tonight. And going through all of that stuff. So definitely looking forward to that. I'm going to be looking for counterattack sets. Basically, I need Destro sets for MLKen. I need lifesteal sets for Mursa, Champ Zerato, and Little Queen Charlotte. And I need counter sets for both Raviolis. So there is that. Anyways, guys, that's my account overview. I did drop a little bit in RTA because I didn't RTA really all weekend, but I'll get back up into Legend after a couple wins right here. I do have a lot of games played, and I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to do a video about that, like, hey, what have I learned after over 750 game matches in RTA, right? Because there's a lot of things. And that's the video for a whole different topic. Oh, I did pull Ray. He's 6-star, but I don't really have any Molagoras in him. Recent 4 and 5 stars. No, that's recent the other way. I did pull Sez on the free, or on the Start Dash pack. I recently got Silverblade Araminta from, I was whaling on some Covenants just for Dust and pulled SB Ara. Now the problem with her is I just don't have any Molagoras for her, like, at all. So she's just kind of in some semi alright-ish gear. But yeah, I did get Ray. Not really using him right now. I do want to get some Molas into him for the turn cooldown at least, and then maybe some barrier strength, but I don't really know too much about him. I know that I've used him a little bit here and there, but not a lot. And I do know that there are people that have been using him to a lot of success, and I run bruisers, so definitely, because he is a very bruiser centric unit, because of his health scaling off of the other people, I do actually look forward to using him again. Project for another time after I get other things geared out and mulled out. But anyways, guys, that was my account. That's where we are. That's some of the things that I'm working on. A lot of this month is going to be spent in Banshee, just working on those counterattack sets, Destro and Lifesteal. So look forward to some of those crafting sessions, and just more PvP, more RTA. I'm absolutely having a great time. Anyways, guys, let me know down below what you think, what you like to see in these. Do you want me to talk about certain things when I do these overviews, or like things that maybe come up that spun off of this that you want to know about? By all means, let me know. I can try to do videos on them. But if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, or if you're not new here and you still haven't subscribed yet, you know what? Go ahead and do that if you want to. If not, that's fine too. But if you did, make sure you hit the bell notification, drop me a like and a comment. I appreciate it. And share it out. Show people my account, I guess. I always like hearing feedback about my account and how free-to-plays have similar accounts to me. It's always fun to see those comments. But I'll catch you guys later. I got some other stuff I got to work on today. Look forward to more balling on a budget. Look forward to more me talking about high RTA meta units and why they're good and why they're bad. And also look forward to some clappenings with a new and improved Tywin in the future. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, homies. Peace. Cracky.